Consider Stash It Sunday night. This is episode 175, closing in on 200 already. 175, 3 years. So we got our fourth annual Stashes coming up next weekend. So that tells you how long we've been doing this crap. But before we get started the show and talking about what few books we had this week, it was a very, very small week. If you want to support us, you can go over to Patreon and enter the Book of the Month contest. You can win book stuff like this Greg Horn Black Cat cover, or the Shannon Mayer X-Men cover. Definitely go check those out. Or if you want us to buy a T-shirt and display the T-shirt and say, "Hey, look, I support these guys," you can go over to Teespring and pick up a T-shirt. They got a few designs over there. The little Thunderlust. Drew is wrong about X-Men. Changed my mind. Let's go and check out those shirts over on Patreon. And if you just want to give us a thumbs up and a share and a shout out, that'd be great too. So definitely appreciate it. So let's go ahead and jump into the few books we do have. Joe, do you want to start on a book? Was it a good week for comics for how few there were?
For as few as there was, say it's about 50-50. So let's go ahead and blast something now. Let's talk about a comic book that shouldn't have cost us anything. It was an advertisement. It was a previews. Any other time, this would be the thing up on the shelf that you would grab, or the guy's trying to hand to you. And that was Incoming. Oh, my God. And I wasted my money getting this beautiful. It is beautiful. One per store party variant. And then I open it up. And what do I get? I get this hodgepodge of a very simple code. Like, I even figured out the code before it was done because I just replaced the number with the letter that coincides with it. Like, that was the big mystery in this one, by the way, folks. It was like, really. But apparently the world's smartest superheroes can't figure this out until the end. So we find people going through trying to figure out this mystery. It's on the back of a picture inside of a murder scene. We get our Black Mask guy. He's hanging around for like 2 seconds again. So I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's come out with your book already. Like, seriously. It looks like we're launching off on another event. And what does the event mean? Nothing, because we're so event just numb at this point. It doesn't even matter as far as I'm concerned. We literally get caught up on every single comic book that nobody really reads. We got caught up on everything that's happening to them while they're trying to figure out this code. It was so bad. It was just so bad. And there was no point to it. And even at the end, the big surprise where the Squirrel and the Kree are together now, like they're buddies, and they're going to start something. And for some reason, trees are growing out of people. If it sounds confusing when I explain it, that's because it was confusing when you read it. It was just a mess, and shame for anybody that bought a high-end variant for this comic book, because it is just garbage, and I'm one of those people. So
you didn't know anything about that, though, did you?
Nope. I thought it was going to be something cool. I really did. I was like, all right, Christmas time, Marvel's going to hook us up. Nope. Oh, before we get Double S says, what up, Huey and Joey, book of the month? Any like the 90s fruit of the month club? Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, I don't bother picking up Incoming. You didn't miss anything, man. If Incoming does become something that's interesting, I'll eat this book. But I'm not seeing the premise of this of being anything interesting.
Yeah. The whole first part of this book, one, the Masked Raider is in it not nearly enough. He should be the primary person here, and he's the one that should be leading this investigation. Instead, he hands it off to Jessica, and I'm like, what
Jessica
the hell?
Jones. Yeah,
Jessica Jones, and she's going and talking to all these different people. I really felt like I was on with my cell phone provider. Like, nope, sorry, I can't help you with that. Maybe these people can. Click, go over here. Oh no, I can't figure that out. I don't know what that is. Let me send you over here. Click, boom. Some of the smartest minds in Marvel can't figure out this simple freaking code.
Yeah, that A is 1, B is 2. See, right? Except for the Tony Stark knockoff with the gear shoulder pads, that was just stupid and weak.
All of that stuff could have been summed up in a page by her going, "Hey, I went here, I went here, I went here, and here. Nobody can figure this out. Instead, we get like 15 pages of nonsense of just pushing us along, just to push us along, just to get us to spend $10 on a freaking
You know
book.
what else was weird? Go to the page, because I'm not opening this thing. Go to the page where they're in Captain Marvel's Batcave, and look at the screen in the background. What does it say? What's her screensaver?
Let me see here.
Show the folks out there.
I'm trying to get to it here.
This thing's made me drink more.
Is it the one that says Captain Marvel?
Her screensaver's her own name and logo.
The only thing, like you test on it, it's catching up all these stories. All these stories are interconnected.
That nobody cares.
Fantastic Four, Venom, all that stuff. The only thing I found funny is when she, in the Fantastic Four portion, is when they rewire Herbie the robot, and he's like, "F you guys," and he's just like cursing the Fantastic Four out.
Yeah,
that was the only part I thought was funny.
But that's going to lead to another event, right? Like the robots are going to rise.
Yeah.
Because they said it. Real quick, we got Second Street Marvel. He's in the house. He says, "What's up, fellas? What's up, brother?" And he goes, "Haha, yeah, I heard it wasn't good, dude. Don't even use the word good in a sense. It was bad. It is bad. Like I've seen better previews."
Yeah, and again, we talk about spoilers on this because it is a review show. The only thing they really make out of this is that the Kree and the Skrulls are combining forces to attack. Yeah. Whatever, dude. I just don't.
Yeah. Yep. So what that they've been enemies for like thousands of years. The midget of them two is running this. See, I just can't stop drinking them. Every time we talk about this.
Yeah, so that's definitely a blast. I'm going to talk about a stash. I don't think you picked this one up. I watched your video. I didn't take notes in a video because there are so few books. I think we probably pretty much read all the same stuff. But I don't think you picked up Kill Lock by IDW.
No, they didn't have it at my store.
This was relatively interesting. The art is a little hard to see in some panels like this here. You got the robot. It's pretty much the same color as the background. They should have a little more contrast, I think, in there. But what this story is about 4 robots who are linked together. They're all criminals. So if one of them dies, they all die. But they all have 3 personalities. Just one guy, for some reason, don't take this wrong, Joe, you remind me of you just a little bit. The robot comes into the bar and he's talking to this other labor class robot, and he says, "Excuse me, that's the most effed up face I've ever seen." What? Your face? You didn't choose it, right? I mean, you couldn't have. The guy's just totally ripping on him. It's just kind of like no filter whatsoever. Just kind of goes, poop. You know what? But you have that guy. You have this like a bodyguard type guy, and you have this kid and this one really great big, used to be a military robot. He's almost passive now. He doesn't want to fight. All he does is pray. That whole trope. And the kid doesn't know why he's linked to these other guys. They finally just tell him, "Hey, you're linked to us. One of us dies, you die," and they're abandoned on this planet, and they're trying to get off. And of course, the one big guy who is passive, because these other group of robots threaten that kid, he becomes not passive and totally just freaking destroys the evil robots coming up. And they're trying to get off this planet to figure out
a kid robot, or is it a kid?
It's a kid robot.
Oh, okay.
He has like the capacity of a child. I mean, but it kind of reminded me a little bit of Transformers in a way. I mean, the big guy that's like the passive guy is pretty cool looking. But they think they can get a cure or some way to be able to release this link that holds them all together. So they're headed off planet to try to figure that out. Interesting concept. I mean, we've seen that before. Suicide Squad, where they all have the collars. They try to break away, they get killed. But it's kind of cool having the robot aspect to it. They're almost like human personalities to some degree. but yeah, the one guy I was talking about, he's very cynical. He's just very like matter of fact. He doesn't, doesn't pull back any punches. Like, dude, you're an idiot. I don't want to hang out with you. I don't want to be with any of you guys. And and they talk about, well, two people could essentially make it, or two robots could make it together, but put four together with totally different lifestyles. You force them to be together, and that's almost they seem like it's almost impossible to try to make that work and be able to survive. So
probably kill each other.
Yeah. Well, when they kills him, they kills himself. So I think that's where they're going with it.
Oh, by the way, Dave, I don't know what's going on with your face, but you need to.
Yeah.
You need to fix
it. It's a labor class. Yeah. But yeah, I think that is a stash. I'll definitely pick up issue 2. I mean, but really, with such a light week, it was had to find a shining gem out of the bunch.
Let's talk about a stash for me, but I don't think I'm getting issue number 2. I'll explain why. So I got the Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham. No, I bought this out of straight nostalgia. Peter Porker, Spider-Ham was my first comic book in that whole little crusade of animals back in, I think it was like 1983, the summer of 1983. Right. I was a kid. It was on a spinner rack. And I've been seeing a lot of him in the movies, and you saw him in this Spider-Verse stuff. So now he's back with his own comic book. So I read this one, and it was a fun read. It's a fun kids book that adults can get because you get the humor in it. We kind of start off with the old school story, and then we beef it up into modern times. And the modern times is actually the interesting story in it, because he helped out with the whole multiverse being destroyed thing. It's picking right back up off of that. He's back in his little ham town or whatever, little animal world, and he's kind of got this chip on his shoulder because he helped with an interdimensional threat, right? So now he's kind of got this huge ego, right? And it's kind of pissing everybody off, right? Nobody really wants to hear this. I always like the play on names in these things too. Right, that was great. So they're going through this thing. Come to find out, an interdimensional threat does come, and they don't pick him to help with it because he's just so stuck on himself at this point. So little lesson learned in that. So what does he do? Well, he takes his little dimensional watch and he jumps through it anyway because screw it. And I love this last page right here where he runs into. Yes, it took him to our world, or whatever Peter Parker's world is. And there he is with Mary Jane. So, yeah, interdimensional threats, silliness. You know what? I probably will pick up issue 2. Just I don't know. It's a fun story. Maybe some good will come out of it. Who knows? I could end up hating it. But for the first one, this is definitely a stash for me. One for nostalgia, too, because it's legitimately a good story, no matter how kidified it is. So, yeah. I liked it. What did you think of it?
I didn't like it too much, really. Like I said, he does have an ego. I don't know if it's an ego or just bored because he dealt with this huge thing, and these guys are like, these guys are minor. I don't want to, waste my time with this minor stuff. I want to be excited. I want to deal with something bigger, and that's what I took away from it. But he does have an ego. It's like, dude, I don't want. This is small time. I've dealt with all this other stuff. You guys can deal with it. I don't need to hang out with you guys. And they get super pissed off at him. They're explaining why you talk too much. You're self-absorbed. You're constantly making jokes. They're not even
let him have it.
Yeah. And so he almost shows him tear up a little bit there, but I don't know if it's real or not, or if he's just putting on a show.
I liked it because it was the same conversation we had around Christmas dinner with my family yelling at me.
I'm really, really creeped out by the whole. Let me see if they show it a little bit more. The pig with teeth thing. I don't know why. Him having teeth. I mean, pigs have teeth, of course. I'm not saying they don't, but I don't know. It just seems really freaking weird to me, and I don't like it. And I don't like how his nose curves up. His snout curves up. It just drives me nuts. I do remember Spider-Ham as a kid. My brother was a bigger Spider-Ham fan than I was, and apparently that Marvel Tales, that first appearance of Spider-Ham, freaking shot up in price. It's a $40 book now.
Yeah,
and I picked it up in a 50 cent or dollar bin last year before it really shot up, And I gave it to my brother who doesn't even collect comics. This is like, hey, here's a piece of nostalgia, And I'm like, crap, dude, I want that book back. I want to sell. But I did find another one for another $1. So
there you go.
Still have that.
It
Also
pays
gave
the dollar die.
the Alf Seal book. I don't know if you remember that book.
I just picked that one up, and I picked up Alf #1. Now I have 2 issues of that. Who knows? If we have an auction, I'll probably put it in there.
Ooh, an auction. I might actually have to bid on that myself just to get it for my brother. Because I got him like, I don't know, 6 or 7 issues of that Alf run. Like I say, he doesn't even collect comics. He probably just chucked them in the closet or in the bottom of the box. Doesn't even care about them. I should say, hey, dude, you don't want those? Give those back. So Spider-Ham is a blast for me. I'm not going to be picking up issue 2. Unfortunately, the whole pig teeth threw me off. Not doing it.
Pig teeth.
I know in your video you said you did not like this book. You thought it was kind of lame, but I actually enjoyed this, and that was Doctor Strange, Surgeon Supreme.
Oh yeah.
You didn't like this book at all?
I don't. I think there's some good stuff going on in it, but I just we'll talk about it. Go ahead. Maybe you'll change my mind.
So this book really relies heavily on Dr. Stephen Strange. He gets his powers back, or not powers back, his ability to use his hands again to become a surgeon. And so now he has this struggle of, what do I do? Do I continue to be a surgeon all the time? Do I consider to take care of all these big threats and saving the world? There's a balance to that, how it consumes energy. You can't do both at the same time. He talks about that too. I do like how he's like in the hospital and he sees like these creatures and stuff that nobody else can see, the sickness and stuff like that. That was kind of interesting. He still has the ego, but not nearly as bad. He talks about it, briefly. People had to meet my fee in order for me to help them. He's kind of changed it, but he still has the ego of like, now I'm the best surgeon, so he still has that. But he talks about the balance and what it pulls away from me. He's just getting totally exhausted. He tries to talk about have a spell for a 30-hour day. He talked about a spell about making a portal that goes directly from his house to the hospital, but he's afraid what else can come through. And he's just flat out exhausted. He has an assistant named Kermit. I didn't know Kermit was that on the list of 100 top baby names? I don't know.
I hope not. I hope nobody's naming their kid Kermit.
Oh, Huey likes pig nips, but doesn't like pig teeth. God, when are we gonna get off this whole pig nip thing? That was freaking what Shirtless Bear Fighter, but that was a long time ago. I've moved on. I've matured. I know you talked about the wrecker. You didn't like his crowbar he had. I thought that was actually kind of cool. He talks about having it's still superpower now. Nobody can control it but him, and he doesn't need the rest of his crew. He can take care of everything by himself. And he ends up almost Joker, with the.
He goes Joker on him.
Yeah, and beats the living crap out of him and tucks him in the river, waiting for him to die. I thought this was good, and I definitely will pick up issue 2 on this. So I guess I didn't notice it until I got it home. There was a variant for this. This is like the hidden variant or whatever.
Yeah. The
scalpel's in the Sorcerer Supreme's hand, and his magic is on the doctor's side. So I don't know. It probably will just shoot up in price to $10 and then drop dramatically off after that. But Doctor Strange, #1, that's a stash for me, even though it is Mark Waid. I'm not a huge Mark Waid fan personally, what he stands for outside of comics. But, it was good. I actually enjoyed it, though.
Yeah. No, I didn't like this. This is a horrible book. To the chat. We got Double S said he read Spider-Ham. He says it was a funny, good read for him. So that just proves, you need to read it again. And Flash Page Comics is in the room. I haven't seen him in a while. What's going on, brother? He says, hello, guys. So my take on Surgeon Supreme here. Dun, dun, dun.
I didn't even see that variant.
Yeah, I picked up that one. I thought it was cool. I wish it was as cool as the book. So here we have a middle-aged guy complaining about how busy his life is. There's half the book for you right there.
How good his life is?
No, how busy his life is.
Oh, yeah.
That's half the book right there. It's done. Like, and mind you, his intern or secretary or whatever Kermit is does like all the like hard work, like the stuff you never hear about behind the scenes, the coding, the insurance. He just kind of schleps in when it's convenient for him and cuts some people up and rolls out and picks the jobs that he wants. Come on, man. Be really that busy. Whatever. So I'll forgive it for that. And then we get the name of some doctor that if you haven't been reading Doctor or Strange for a while, nobody knows who he is, but Doctor Strange seems to think that he should have been dead. So didn't mean anything to us. He's the new dean of the hospital. So what? You didn't follow it up with anything. I don't care. It's just a random name thrown in there. I guess it's going to be important later. We'll see if I even bother picking up issue 2. And then I'll be honest. If you're going to take like Sorcerer Supreme, right? How are you going to team up? How does the Wrecker win? Like the Wrecker, seriously, give him his upgrade. He says he gets some upgrade in it, so something magical is happening with him. But it's a magical crowbar. Seriously, some characters just need to be put to bed. Let the IPs expire on them, and just let them fade into public domain and be done with it. And I don't know. It would have been cool if his whole little destroyer group was there. That would have made more sense to me. There's no way, like, I don't know. Oh, hey, Comics with Bueller swung by. Just wanted to stop by and say happy soon-to-be 2020. Hey, it's good to see you too, Bueller. Thanks for swinging by. Always a pleasure. Been catching your shows lately. Good stuff going on there as well. So, yeah, I don't know. It just seemed – all right. So, like, this is cartoony, right? And it's meant to be somewhat silly. That doesn't mean you get to get away with it with this one, right? Like, that's just how it came off to me. I'm sorry. Will I pick up issue 2? I don't know. It depends on what else I got on the list. This is a maybe picker-upper for me, but it's definitely a blast. First issue's a blast for me.
Before I jump in, I got a little bit more about Doctor Strange. I wanted to ask, is Bueller going to Emerald City Comic Con? I think he probably is. He lives up in that area, not too far from that. Just to give you a heads up, we are headed up that way as well. We're going to be up there for the weekend. Friday, Saturday. This Friday and Saturday, I think.
I'm coming up on the 11th.
Is that Thursday?
I think so. Wednesday.
Okay.
I'm flying in on Wednesday.
Well, definitely. I know we're not going to be there Sunday. For sure. You're flying out Sunday. I'm headed over on Sunday. We're not going to be there Sunday. But I think the con is either Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I forgot.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but we're going to be up there.
A day early to adjust the time. Yeah, if the other YouTubers out in that part of the country want to get together, maybe have a meetup, have some drinks, eat a little supper together. We can all go live. Whatever. I'm happy to do that kind of stuff. That's fun.
Yep. So definitely on the Facebook page, I have an event set up for Emerald City Comic Con. If you're part of that group, definitely go over there and say, yeah, I'm going, or hey, I might be going. Maybe we could try to work out some other arrangements, place to stay and stuff like that. We try to figure that out as a group if we could. So just if you do, you're interested, get a hold of one of us and we can figure that out. To go on with Doctor Strange, the only thing I didn't understand is now Doctor Strange can predict the future. I don't remember that. I mean, I know he has a time stone. He could go back and forth, but he knew when the other doctor was going to be sneezing. When did he get that power?
Yeah, that was no, because he's so good at doctoring. That's the
is that what it is? He heard
so good at doctoring.
He heard the micro nasally problems he had and knew the sneeze was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is March 12th through the 15th, I believe.
Yeah.
I know it's the 15th because the 15th is my wedding anniversary, and I've already asked my wife, said, that's on our anniversary. She's like, I don't care. That's fine.
Well, you've been married for a while.
Yeah.
That's
a dash for me and a blast for you. I only got one other book this week, and I know you picked it up too.
Boom. Now, this is a beautiful cover. I'm glad that they did something like this for the trade dress regular cover. This is Venom. Number 21. We're continuing on to a new arc now. We're getting out of the absolute stuff, but check this cover out.
What is that, like the 1 in 25?
Oh no, this is the 1 in 50.
Oh, is it? Who's the artist on that? You don't know?
I don't know. I don't look at
Almost.
stuff.
I have to look it up probably.
Yeah. So, what am I starting this one off, or do you want to start?
Yeah,
it
you
off?
go ahead. Yeah, I brought up Doctor Strange.
Okay. So check this out. So we come right off the events of Carnage, right? And remember when Eddie Brock got all the codexes in him, right? He's got all the codexes. What's a codex? Who knows? He's got them all in him. And so now he can't get rid of the voice of Carnage, right? Because it's embedded in the codex or whatever, even though they killed him, which that's only a matter of time. So now he's got Venom in there. He's got the Carnage yelling at him, and then he's got his own personality. Plus, he's finding out that his kid doesn't really like being lied to about being his father or not. So he's got like domestic issues as well, right? So he's got his domestic stuff going on. So the Avengers are like, yeah, Eddie, we like him. Let's let him be part of the Honeycomb hideout over here. So they fly him out to Avenger Mountain. And they're like, dude, you want to be an Avenger? And he's like, man, I don't know. And this is when Carnage starts talking to him and screaming at him. And everybody just thinks he's a little bit weird. And that's fine. So he's like, I need some time to think about it. He jet sets home, starts popping pills like they're out of a Pez dispenser to get the voices to stop in his head. I think this is a great analogy to insanity. And then, so what does he do? He gets the bright idea to go back to Venom Island. Now, I like these kind of more savage type stories. And I think this is just going to be a great arc. We got survival, we got an island, we got man-made weapons, we got just craziness going on in it. I'm super excited about this. And it's a great lead off too. So I kind of want to see how this battle breaks out. I think this is going to be great. So it's definitely a stash. That's my long way.
I read this twice as I wanted to make sure I got it down. That's one thing that is nice about having so few books. Take the time, go back and read it over again, and kind of, okay, this is what happened. I didn't know that Venom made clothes for Eddie Brock. He turned his into a suit. Does that mean he's Eddie's underwear? Eddie, your balls stink. Take a shower, Eddie.
I don't even want to think about it. I need another drink. I'll be right back.
So we got that. I thought that was kind of weird. The other panel I thought was really weird was this whole panel with the Avengers standing around after Cap gives them cards saying, hey, if you need to get a hold of us, do so. And like She-Hulk's like, oh, he's so hot. That panel was just absolutely ridiculous, and I thought it didn't need to be in there. It was a stupid. But we do get more of the conflict of Eddie, Venom, and as well as Carnage, where he's wanting to take the pills, and Eddie or Carnage is saying, please don't take those pills. Even though it'll silence Carnage, it'll silence Venom as well. End up going into this deep state, and he realizes that Null's, he knows Null's coming back, but he wakes up like covered in blood, and it says God is coming. So we got that, and he decides to go to Venom Island, but Carnage ended up wrecking his ship, going down, and all of a sudden Eddie's just in his underwear though. I don't know where his other clothes went.
Yeah, but they just magically just burned off of him, I guess. Like, I don't know. That was weird. Yeah.
Maybe Venom was his suit too, and because of the flames he disappeared. I don't know. But the whole book, it was good though. I liked it. I'm looking forward to the whole, like you said, like almost like a Predator kind of vibe to it on an island. Maybe cover himself in mud and I'm here, kill me. He does that. Maybe he'll do that. But that panel I talked about when you should get something to drink, the She-Hulk. Oh, he's so hot. I'm like, come on, that was ridiculous. That whole panel was stupid.
Yeah, her and Thor had a thing for a while.
Yeah, I know.
Waiting for a little bit, for like a hot minute.
And I don't think Thor was in that panel.
Yeah, he was in there.
Was he in there? And
yeah, he was all. Dallas would be an honor to do battle with you. Yeah,
he didn't like Dow's comment on Eddie Brock.
You look at that. Let's see here. Comics with Bueller says yes, he will be at Emerald City Comic Con. Huey, you have to go to the Washington State Summer Con. The lineup is going
I'll
to
check
be
that out.
crazy. Double SS Venom stash of the week. I would say so too. It was definitely a hard stash for me for the week. And of course, the Hulk comment about dating an Avenger, I think.
Yeah, he's not in that panel right there, which talking about him being hot, but he is in there in that room. Yeah, I thought that wasn't necessary. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I thought,
Well, it is a comic book. You should have a little humor in there.
Well,
every now and
yeah,
then.
get
Or at
that.
least an attempt at it, I guess.
And that's it. That's our books of the week. We don't even have a lightning round tonight. So what we thought we'd do, we talked about this in Patreon, asked people to give us a topic for the next Rewind show. We thought we'd be able to do that real quick. And it was Caffeinate Comic Books. He asked he wanted to know what comic books got us into collecting. I've got a couple here that I want to talk about. You just have one? You have a couple?
I have a couple because I've been in and out of it. It was easy enough. A lot of these books that I kind of just pick up on a regular basis are from my childhood or early teenage or late teenager. Because like I said, well, go ahead and start and I'll explain it.
Okay, so my first book, this was early on. This was probably 8 to 10 years old, right around there. It was mainly because of my dad. My dad used to pick up the books. He'd read them actually and then give them to me, and I'd have them in my collection. We really got into it, and I tried to get wasn't really into back issues then. I was always just picking up whenever I could. I'll show his first appearance, but I mean, people may not know what it is. Maybe people may not even know who he is, even after I say who he is. His first appearance is in Destroy Your Duck, #1. If anybody has a clue out there, do you know who it is?
Destroy Your Duck, yes.
Well, I Destroy Your Duck, but this character, that's not him. The character I'm talking about, his first appearance is in this book, and that is Sergio Aragonés Groo, the Wanderer. Sergio did a lot of work in Mad Magazine. That's where he got his start when he came over. He spoke very little English. He had another friend that worked in Mad Magazine that was Spanish speaker. He was able to get his foot in the door with Mad Magazine and ended up going to creating his own comic. He was one, too, that didn't want to give his rights over to his character. So he ended up jumping around from quite a few different publishers. This one was by Eclipse Comics. This was the first issue of Groo. Then he went to PC Comics. Then he went to Marvel. Then he went to Image. Then he went to Dark Horse. So he jumped around to quite a few different publishers. And he's still drawing today. He's in his late 70s, early 80s, I think.
Yeah,
and he doesn't do a whole lot of work still. I mean, he does like a mini series every now and then. But yes, and if you don't know what a Groo is, he's just a knockoff of Conan Barbarian. Loves cheese dip, is bad luck on any kind of ship, loves fighting. He'll flip sides in a heartbeat if he thinks there's more people to fight on the other side. And it's just kind of a fun, light read. And Sergio is actually known for how quick he can draw too. Is like known as one of the fastest artists. But it's not really overly complicated art either, though. It's pretty simplistic. But Groo, this was one that my dad and I both shared a lot when I was a kid. And thanks to Simplified Comic Guy, Vince, I don't know if he's around anymore. That was trying to get that whole run. I have all the original PC and the Eclipse stuff. But he got me like 1 through 70 of Groo from the Marvel run and sent it to me. So I got pretty much the whole Marvel run out, and I've got quite a few of the other ones. But Groo Comics and Groo has been one of my gateway as youth. As a younger before I started getting into more mature stuff.
No
What about you for your first book, for your, as Jackio says, gateway book?
Well, I just started collecting comic books about a week ago. So what came out last week? All right. So typical teenage boy on the East Coast. My very first comic book I mentioned at the beginning of the show was Spider-Ham. I remember going to a Teeny Giant as a young boy and they had the spinner rack in there. If you don't know what a teeny giant is, it's basically the ghetto version of a 7-Eleven. And and
that must be an East Coast thing.
right, my mom, she bought me my first comic book there. That was in 1983. I'm still very young at the time, but I just remember just fascinated that there was this book that was made specially for kids. Right, that's how I always pictured comic books. From there, the madness started. You got your early Hawkeyes, Green Arrow, Green Lanterns, but some of the things that really got me to where I was like, oh man, I need to hold on to these things. And even today, if I see these comic books when I'm going through a bin, I don't care how many of them I have, I will probably more than likely pick up another one. The first one is 1986, that Punisher.
Yeah.
It's a great run on Punisher. Love this story. I picked this one up today, as a matter of fact. But like I said, I got like 4 of these. Dazzler. I don't know why. I just liked Dazzler. I thought she was hot. And of course, yep, I'm a huge Captain America guy. Even Captain America and Falcon, those were always my favorite. And probably the one that I read the most and made sure I was there every week to get was, of course, G.I. Joe. Because what's more American than that? We would watch the cartoon. I'm sorry?
Is that the first Snake Eyes?
No, this is the silent issue. Yeah, this is the silent issue.
Okay.
I have the first Snake Eyes. Anyway, yeah, me and my friends, we'd read the comic books, we would watch the cartoons, and then we'd go into the woods and yell "Yo Joe" at each other and throw rocks. It was awesome. It was a great life. So yeah, those are my huge ones. I always liked the more military type comic books. I don't know, Punisher, Captain America, G.I. Joe. Wasn't that big into Star Wars, to be honest. Like, I liked the movies. I just couldn't get into the comic books. Anything that relied on a MacGuffin for everything to work. It just, I don't know. I just couldn't get behind that. Thor, I remember and I just got annoyed with the way he talked. I was like, if I wanted to read Shakespeare, I would. Who would have known 20 years later I would have been reading Shakespeare? But yeah, that happened. So yeah, those are my gateway drugs right there that popped the vein right then and there. What brought me back into comic books after I got out of the military, that's actually I should have grabbed the book. I didn't think. So after I retired from the military, I spent some time in a hospital, had a lot of surgeries and stuff. And my eyes would kind of wobble in and out because I had a brain injury. And it would hurt. The lights would hurt, stuff like that. And reading small print would hurt even more. But so I wanted to read something because I always got to read something. So I started reading comic books again in the hospital. And I was like, why am I not reading these things again? Like, what? So even after I got out of the hospital, life takes over. You got to get a job. You got to do, get your family squared away. But even then, I was like, I really need to go back. And that's when I ran into Mike Jenner. And we hooked up, Spectacular Spider Grandpa. We hooked up and started talking about comic books. And I was like, man, I really need to get back into them. I just don't know where to start, blah, blah, blah. And put myself on a budget. And I've been rolling ever since then.
Yeah, how long have you known Mike? I don't know if I've ever asked that.
Let's see here. Our wives actually knew each other first. We first met some time ago, but we didn't really talk to each other. I would say actually knowing him and getting to know him now, probably going on 4 years.
Oh, okay.
No. That's not right. No. About 2.5.
So when you came to Dallas Fan Expo, you guys just not known each other very long.
No, we met a couple of times at my wife's store, and that was about it. And he brought it up and asked if we wanted to come, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go. I wasn't really too sure about the whole Comic-Con thing, but I figured why not? And I think I know I went through an easy $1,000 at that con, and that con is what kind of got me back up into reading and all this other stuff.
Yeah. You talked about G.I. Joes. I never read the comics as a kid. I had tons of the action figures.
Oh,
I know that. And we would light them on fire. We would shoot them with BB guns. And now I look back and go, why did I do that? Barbecue, Dusty. I mean, all those other great characters I had as G.I. Joes, and I'm like, dude, why the hell did I do that?
Dusty was always my favorite. I loved Dusty.
Now, you also talked about, huh?
You want to see some stuff I picked up today?
Yeah, sure.
So I went to the comic meetup, where comic book collectors and people in the industry, and I had $250 with me, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna put myself on a budget, and I'm gonna get me some good comic books. So let's see what $250 got me. And the chat room, you get to decide if this was any good or not. Again, I already told you I picked up a Dazzler #1 again, Punisher #1 again. I picked up. Oh, this is the big find. Demon in a Bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man. It's a great book. Of course, every time I see this one, I got to pick it up too. I don't know why I like it. Captain America 25. Let's see here.
First time Falcon is Cap, right?
Yeah, first, yeah. Deadpool #1, back before Deadpool got funny.
Yeah, I think I have that book.
Yep. Let's see here. Some older ones. I love this cover.
I have that book. Isn't that a Neil Adams cover?
Yeah, Neil Adams cover. This is the issue. It has an appearance of Wonder Woman in it. It's pretty good stuff. Rebirth #1, and I figured out the difference between the first and second print besides the words, where you can actually look at the cover and be able to figure it out. It's how much of the guy's arm you see up in here.
Oh, really?
If you see up to the elbow, yeah. If you see up to the elbow, it's a second print. If you see to the wrist down, it's a first print. So that was pretty cool. And then, of course, I had to pick up my Golden Age collection stuff. Now, mind you, I only spent $250. Not to mention what I spent on beer. Plastic Man #46.
Wow.
That's just a cool cover. Let's see here. Monsters on the Prowl. I love these series, these kind of monster covers from the olden days. I love this stuff. It has Titan on it. Titan just made an appearance in Immortal Hulk.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was that monster at the end.
Yeah. This was a steal for me too. Where Monsters Dwell #1. That's a good cover. And my big find of the week, and the guy really cut me a sweet deal on it, was a Black Cat what is it, 64? Yeah, 64. This is the last Golden Age run of Black Cat.
Oh, nice. Who was that by? What publisher?
This was back Harvey.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Harvey Comics, yeah. So, yeah, that is my big haul for $250. All that goodness right there. Got not a haggle.
Yeah, the other book, other character that really got me into collecting, I think this is more after Grew, and I kind of got into buying my own books. And a friend of mine had, it wasn't a trade then. They didn't call it trade paperbacks then. And it actually wasn't even a full-size comic. It was like a half-size comic, but it had all 5 comics in there. And I didn't realize how much I loved it until later on. And it is the whole Punisher run, the Mike Zeck Punisher. I absolutely love that. I remember the scene when the guy uses the bottle as a silencer in the prison, and Punisher stops him, Punisher gets out. Fell in love with Zeck's art then, Mike Zeck. And then I moved into Punisher Warzone. I remember buying that first one. Of course, that was during a big hype and a big bubble on comics. I'm like, oh, this die cut cover for Punisher Warzone #1 is going to be worth so much money. You just sit all day long now. I have almost that Punisher Warzone run. But I think I like Punisher just because he's not superhuman. He just relies on his military training and fortitude to muscle through stuff and get stuff done. Very similar to if you've watched a Punisher show on Netflix. He gets his ass handed to him, but it doesn't stop. He just keeps moving forward.
He's going.
And that's what I like about Punisher.
I forgot to mention, I also picked up my next 2 issues of Delta Dogs on there too. If you haven't been reading this comic book, it's a great independent local comic book around this area. I love this story. It's a great story. I picked that up too. But yeah, you're absolutely right about the whole Punisher thing. Love. I don't know. Is it something? Some of the Punisher stuff got a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like War Journal was okay the first 20 issues, and then after that, it just started getting like weird. But yeah, Punisher's always been good.
Yeah, I completed my whole the Mike Zeck run, got all the miniseries. Thanks to Chad from Comic Core, I got Amazing 129. So I have no other Punisher. I mean, I think the second appearance of Punisher I don't have. And I think that's, I don't know, is that Punisher, that Amazing 131 or something like that?
Yeah, well, I think maybe.
But
I've been drinking. Don't ask me.
So I have all, Punisher doesn't have a whole lot of keys really in any of the Punisher run other than the miniseries, Amazing 129 in the second appearance and third appearance. Other than that, I mean, you can pick up his books in a 50-cent pen,
Yeah.
I think Punisher #1 of the main series, the one you showed there, is maybe a $10 book, something like that. Yeah, especially when Image first came out. Yeah, and I remember Image and what great art that was. And my Spawn #1 is going to be worth $1 million, even though I had 1 million print runs.
$1 million.
The Max, yeah, I remember reading the Max. What else from Image?
I
don't think I read much else from Image, really. But those are the books that got me into it. I mean, I got back into collecting in 2015, right at the beginning of Secret Wars. I found myself the job I had. It was a delivery job, and it was about an hour and a half away. And I had to drive up there, and I got all my deliveries done, and I had to wait to pick something up before I could head back to the warehouse. And that's how it was every single day. If I got everything done, I had an hour to kill in town. And I'm like, what am I going to do for an hour? And I went to a few other stores, went to a camping store, an outdoors store, and kind of farted around in there. And I thought, you know what? Hey, there's a comic book store here. So I went to the comic book store, dug through some of their back issues, got a few current stuff, got the Uncanny Avengers run that came out then, started picking up on Secret Wars, and then boom, here I am, 8,000 books later. But I didn't know how my wife was going to take it, because the whole time we've been together since 2003. So 16 years. And I didn't have any comics when we got together, and she knew I watched the comic book movies. She knew that. I'm like, how is my wife going to take this? My wife's a very professional, master's degree, very professional job and all this stuff. Like, her husband's buying, almost 40-year-old husband's buying comic books. And so I'm hiding them in the bottom of my closet just so she doesn't see them. I don't know what she's going to think. I'd much rather find a Playboy than my comic book collection, So I'm like, I don't know how she's going to take this. And she's actually pretty damn cool with it. I was talking last night, and I was saying, hey man, I spend too much money on this stuff, my comics and my comic book room and all this stuff. And she goes, hey, you know what? It makes you happy. It makes you happy. I don't care. So
my wife was pretty cool with it too, but she told me, just do it like you do everything else, because I'm vivacious on setting budgets and stuff like that. I don't like getting out of control with anything, unless it's obviously whiskey tonight. It was a bad book.
You work early in the morning, don't you?
No, I can take my time tomorrow because it's December and nobody needs me.
But I think
what kind of cool things do we have going on here in the near future?
You want to talk about it?
I just asked you a question. Why would I want to talk about it?
You said, what cool things do we have going on? Is that what you asked me?
Yeah, what kind of cool things do we have going on in the near future, sir?
In the near future, this next Saturday, January 4th, we have our 4th annual Stashies. So that's where we take a look. We have a whole bunch of categories. I threw a little video up the other day talking about the categories, where we go through and talk about the good, the bad, the ugly from 2019. and we give them the Stashy or Blasty awards or whatever we want to call them. Then Sunday night, the 5th, we have our normal show, a comic book review show. Then following, what is it, the 11th, we're planning an auction. So we're going to try to sell some books because I'm going to be headed to Texas, not for anything comic related. I get to be a grandfather. Oh my God, 43 and a grandfather! Yay!
Yeah, you and Mike. That's so weird.
Well, this is what I when you're 20 years old, you have a daughter. Likelihood of you having a kid young and them having a kid young, or being a grandfather sooner. Higher probability there.
I told my daughter not to have children because if I smell weakness in the child, I will eat it.
You're not going to cast it off the hill like the Spartans.
For shame.
Well, I just think my beard turning white was all preparation to be a grandfather younger. But yeah, we're headed. So on the 11th, we have the auction. On the 12th, we have our normal show. And that could be all pending too, because I don't know. My daughter's due the 13th. She may go into labor on the 10th. I don't know what's going on, but that's all. But that's the plan right now. The 11th, the auction. 12th, the normal show. 13th, I'm out of town. If that's how it goes. I told her, hey, can the baby give me some kind of window? Give me the date. Yeah. Give me a 2-hour window like a cable guy, so I know when to be there.
Kid's already starting off wrong. So inconvenient.
Yeah. So. So says, yep, that was so where is it at? Earliest 90s speculation comic book bubble, especially when Image Comics first came out. We talked about that. He also just posted another comment as it popped up, at least on this end.
Says worst Tom King book of the year. Batman should be a category. Laugh out loud.
Yep, definitely. What else we got going on? We have Emerald City Comic Con coming up in March. We talked about that. If you want to go, get a hold of one of us so we could try to figure it out. We're looking to get an Airbnb and doing that. If we have people who know we're going to go, looking for maybe a place to crash, maybe we'll work some deal out. Get a hold of one of us and we can get you that information as well. But it's got to be probably pretty soon, probably by middle of February. Think, Joe, when do we think you need no information by?
Well, we definitely need to know how many people before February, so end of January. That way we can reserve it at the best rate. Also, I have the Richmond Galaxy Con coming up. I'm going to go up there and support my good friend Daniel Montano. He's the one that did the picture with me. He's going to be up at that, so that's kind of exciting for him. It's his first Comic Con as an artist at it. We have that. Let's see. In June, I got Esoteric Con. That's going to be a weird one. I'm going live there. It's going to be weird.
You also had another video you just posted up about a con meetup. You did that?
Yeah, the book where I got these books that's on there. We also do a walk around the brewery. Yeah, it was at a brewery. You could see the different people there and with selling their wares and stuff like I normally do. And then a quick haul video on some of this stuff.
And see, Drunk Ralphie did an episode on Santa Claus. That was on your channel recently.
Have you seen that?
I've watched that, yeah.
It's almost offensive.
Well, according to Marvel, he's like a high level,
omega level being.
Yeah. So, I also posted in a link here. I have an eBay page, and Joe has an eBay page. Joe has some freaking awesome books on his page, so definitely go check those out. Also, I know I didn't put a link to your other auction because that just ended, so you will have another auction coming up soon for that. I have a few books on mine, but yeah, make sure you come back here and check out our auction. You probably get better deals than you could on eBay, that's for sure. So go by and check us out, and we'll make sure to try to promote that as much as we can. Try to get as many people here, and definitely go tell your friends about it. Anything else before we close up?
No, I think we've shamelessly plugged our stuff as much as we can.
I think so too. think so too. Again, too, if you want to support us, you like what we do, you can go over check us out on Patreon, where we do give away books of the month. It's just $1 entry into that contest. 1 for 1, 2 for 2, 3 for 3. I still have yet to pick up the December book, but this was the November book. I just got them in the mail, getting ready to ship those out for the 2 winners. Caffeinated Comics and I have it written down here the other person that won. But I'll be looking for the December book to get that, and we'll be doing that giveaway here pretty soon, first of the month, maybe next Sunday. We'll see.
Yeah.
Go over, check out a T-shirt. Maybe you can buy one of these shirts and go wear it at the con. That'd be kind of cool. Support your local YouTube channel. I know about local YouTube channel, but support your YouTube channel. Go check out Teespring there, and of course, just give us a thumbs up and a share and all that fun stuff. With that, whether you blast it, whether stash it, happy reading. And we'll see you guys this Saturday for the Stashies. Later. Oh, background. Background's cool.